changes that have been made to the various modules with the addition of plant, right? So I'm going to click forward, right? These in past, the 3DR Pro edition was a combination of survey and AEC. Now this 3DR Pro edition contains the features of all the modules, the standard edition, the survey edition, the AEC edition, and the plant edition, right? So that's why these two slides, again, don't need to dig into every one of these items, but what comes in highlights in red are those new features that are specific to the plant module. CAD and BIM import for model overlay and progress monitoring, right, and clash detection. The CAD and BIM features for inspection, visual notes, clash and BIM. These semi-automatic scan to pipe, the point cloud classification, and the tank inspection, which the functions are the same from 3DR Tank Edition. They're just now all in the Plant Edition, if that follows. So what's new a little bit more specifically in the 3DR 2024 release of Cyclone 3DR? So again, there are new features across all of the portfolio or the modules. So this graphic is trying to basically highlight what's new, and that is Leica's new Reality Cloud Studio, which is just another way of presenting or sharing or getting the information out into 3D, out to the world, beyond necessarily your own office. Of course, all of the Leica scanners are shown here, and of course, our suite is not dependent upon Leica instruments. Any data from a 3D system, aerial, terrestrial, or even subsea sonar, if it's 3D data, we can get it into the Leica suite of products. We can share it through Cyclone Enterprise, through Reality Cloud Studio, through the free TrueView desktop viewer. We're also, in the beginning of the year, we have changed, or there's a new file format. We have moved from the LGS to what's called LGSX, because the file format has gotten faster, it has gotten smaller, it is capable now of handling additional external data sets. So sort of like the E57 is the industry standard across the planet, the LGSX is similar. I shouldn't say similar, it's like that, but it's more enhanced because it's like an E57 that also carries metadata and PDF documents, Excels, movies, spreadsheets, bolt torquing procedures, whatever it may be. So this is not necessarily a Cyclone 3DR feature. It's a more global thing, or Leica Geosystems is enhancing our hexagon-based point cloud engine and are able to produce a much more effective, efficient, and faster file format for all of our customers. So really, what's new here again is that the new visualization tool for Reality Cloud Studio, and then the LGS X format, an enhancement beyond the LGS format. And so individual features or functions, the scan to pipe feature inside of 3DR Plant or 3DR Pro Edition, because the Pro Edition contains all the additions. So what you can see here is where we run a number of pipes, right, and put them on their own layer or color, assigned to their own color. And currently, it can generate pipes and elbows and eccentric or concentric reducers. So what I can model is all my all my pipe runs and all my cylindrical equipment, right? And Yannick will do a detailed demo of this. I'm not going to go into the command line. Very, very intuitive, even without training or instruction. If you hit a few buttons long enough, you'd figure it out. But we've got a lot of training material and videos to reference. You're not going to be left alone to figure it out, but it is extremely intuitive and pretty easy to figure out the scan to pipe feature. We can produce BIM models, CAD models, meshes, or center lines, or all of the above, right? So once I've got this model, depending upon the downstream need, I can send it off to BIM workflows, straight into CAD systems, or meshes if that's what I want, or even the center line geometry, which could be helpful in many respects, right? If I'm trying to give me another tool in addition to CloudWorks to generate the center line work for my plant design system to then come in and auto-populate those lines. So it's not one, it's any or all of these that we can produce as an export file from your model or your piping model. Continuing on with scan to pipe, what I wanted to highlight here was that this has been rigorously tested on the high-end scanners, or the super accurate scanners, the P class scanners and the RTC 360 scanners. But we've also tested it on the BOK2Go, the mobile mapping systems, right? So this functionality is not dependent on the higher accuracy tripod mounted scanners. It certainly supports our mobile scanners, the BOK2Go, which is also very popular in vertical construction and extremely popular in plant design because of how fast I can capture a tremendous amount of the facility. But again, the 3D plant is like an instrument agnostic. As long as you're using one of the P class or BOK class machines, the data is fine. So visual notes, I sort of talked to this one before. The 3DR all editions come with a very elegant user customizable reporting engine, very dynamic, right? And it's linked to the data, so the report updates itself as the data changes. But what's new is the visual notes, which, and Yannick will show this, but it's a quick way to set up multiple views with top-down, forward-looking ISO views where we've found issues, challenges, tolerances, fitment issues, real fast and easy way to communicate from field to team or team to team or office to office with respect to what, challenges or issues, right? So we get it right digitally before we get it wrong in the field. So visual notes, this is just sort of aligning the inspection notes, which is the more robust, which is the fully robust reporting engine, and then the visual notes, which is the a quicker engine for generating reports that experienced users or non-experienced users can use, right? So the accuracy, when you're using the full-on inspection, oftentimes you're generating a surface for the point cloud or certain things. So the accuracy of the inspection of the full inspection reports is a little higher because in most cases you're generating an object or a surface out of the point clouds versus necessarily possibly just measuring from the point clouds. But depending upon that accuracy envelope, perhaps visual notes is all you need. Hey, look, it's beyond an inch. It doesn't matter how much, it's beyond an inch. We're in trouble. So depending upon the tolerance of what you're reporting on, maybe the visual notes is all you need, but there is a more accurate way to do so. But visual notes, I found it really fun because immediately one can get some communication out of the system. Progress monitoring. This is a big one for AEC and for plant customers, right? The ability to say, hey, I've got my model, the design model, and I'm out there in the field and I've got the scan and I want to see, hey, what's been built, what's not been built, and to what tolerance something has been built. So this is a very powerful feature for clients in plant space who want to overlay today's scans against last year's or the design model from wherever it was, recent or past. And this is a very elegant method or a solution, the progress monitoring functionality to do so. And on the right, we've just got some shapes of some giant or very big flanges that were scanned and overlaid to the model to see what the deviation report was. And the color is just a heat map, right? The more red something is the more out of tolerance something came. Of course, you get the numerical reports, but the heat map gives you a quick view of where our hot spots are. So for Survey AEC and Pro edition, there's a new profile extraction and analysis experience. This is for tunnels, stacks, towers, anything in which I'm anything that's like a tunnel, right? But there's a new wizard workflow to simplify the creation and analysis of profiles. the ability to create these profile sections in 2D or 3D across a tunnel, right, or a tube or a pipe or a giant watershed, whatever it may be. It's the profiles extractor has always been in there, but it got a whole lot more simplified, right, and quicker, easy to generate the extraction profiles, right. So the fundamental substance is still there. It's just gotten a lot, it's 3 clicks to get there instead of 10. So that's a really nice addition for the profile extraction. 3D interface and support of mobile scanner trajectories. This is also new in 3DR 2024, where if you're using any of the mobile scanners, it records its trajectory path, and we can leverage that trajectory path for all of the mobile scanning applications. So in the past, it was simply just the high-end mobile TRK, where we could grab that center line and generate movies from it, or look around positions from it. Now that has been added into the suite for support not only of the TRK, the automobile or vehicle mounted systems, but the BOK scanners to go and to fly the BOK line of mobile scanners. And this is an example of the trajectory path in the TRK, and this is an example of the trajectory path that gets recorded with the BOK to go, or the mobile, or the BOK arc, or the BOK to fly. And there's a new image experience. So this isn't a feature function, but more of a enhancement to the interface, which allows allows users to have multiple different rendering modes, right? I can, on the left is I'm moving through or teleporting from position to position. So the far left, it's the Pano images, right? And then the next slide, I've got point cloud and model images. Then I've got point cloud in true color, and then a point cloud in intensity map, or the heat map color, right? And then there's also, right, so these new visualization modes, and I can toggle through them at any time, right? It's really just the same thing, but showing it in the different viewing modes or colorizing modes. And I can have multiple windows open with the multiple color schemes. Sometimes one scheme lets me see a little bit better than the other, right? Pretty standard in all of our point cloud systems. Sometimes you look at it at grayscale or true color or false color, because sometimes something shows up better in one of the rendering modes. So also with the enhancements to the user interface, dovetailing in from the last slide, and I got ahead of myself, those scenes can be synchronized. There's stereo rendering capabilities now, new point cloud metadata features, and also a skybox background, which is the ability to have that, in 3DR, instead of having a black background, I can now, make it look like blue sky in the background, right? So synchronized 3D scenes, if you have the stereo rendering capability or hardware, it does support that. Metadata features, which is the ability to, quickly at a glance show things like heat maps and tolerances and so forth. So these are not module specific, these are enhancements across 3DR in general. And then continuous improvement of the AI point cloud classification, right? So for the BIM world, we've got new classifications of indoor, road, right, and then in the BOK mobile, the people filter, which is a nice function, because typically in the building construction, we can have a lot of crafts in one room, trade crafts, and oftentimes there are people I cannot ask to get out of the way. So the ability to be able to filter people in these confined spaces of a building is a nice feature. It's a nice feature enhancement, leveraging our AI engine, which is always evolving and continuously improving. We're improving it, and of course, by default, it improves itself, right? So I'm going to hand it over to Yannick, who's going to do live demos of most of these, if not all of the high-end features that I've touched on, and let you guys see this technology in action. Yannick, are you ready?
Yes, thank you very much, Joey.
You betcha. I'll let you take it from here. Thanks, Yannick.
Thanks. That was a very insightful introduction and lots of details, lots of things in this new release of Cyclone 3DR. So I mean, even myself as product manager, I mean, impressed but by what our team was able to deliver for this new release. So now I will do some demonstrations of the product, and in particular for the plant industry application. So many things to demonstrate. I won't be able to cover all the new features, and I really encourage you to visit our online contents, the new YouTube playlist that we created for the plant industry application. But hopefully I will be able to demonstrate a piece of nice application, nice use cases for plant industry. So obviously, Scan-to-Pipe is the big new feature of this major release of Cyclone 3DR, and we'll be very happy to demonstrate, show a couple of tips to extract a piping model for a chemistry plant application. Visual notes, for a scan-to-verify application here, I have a dataset for a renovation project showing important differences between a design model and the reality, that visual notes can really help and boost to create a rich report. And not only new features, but I think it's important to show that a feature like scan-to-mesh is also, I mean, a very important feature, I mean, for industry application. And here I'm going to do a quick mesh of an offshore site, and I mean, with the purpose to deliver a realistic model. And again, a scan-to-verify application, so a very typical 3DR typical deviation analysis, and something that is also new in the new plant edition of Cyclone 3DR. So let's go into Cyclone 3DR for the demo, and I will start with Scan-to-Pipe. So let me show you Cyclone 3DR. So here I have a point cloud that was so coming from an RTC 360 scan, and that I will switch to real colors. And as usual, a very important tip. So make sure that, I mean, you have an UCS that is aligned with your project. So to have the most convenient workflow as possible. And also the limit box, an active limit box can be very useful. And so in Scan-to-Pipe, but not only Scan-to-Pipe, for many features, having an active limit box that you can edit with shortcuts, I mean, is very convenient to go, I mean, into details of a point cloud. Also, I mean, a tip that can be useful before running Scan-to-Pipe is to reduce the point cloud, and so the tests that we have done give very good results in matter of performance, and without reducing the quality of the extraction. So I'm selecting my point cloud, and Scan-to-Pipe can be executed from the extract menu. So here I have a toolbar to create my pipe trace with semi-automatic tools. I have also connection capacities between pipes. I won't be able to demonstrate everything, but this is why I really encourage you to visit our YouTube channel. We created a very complete video. And so I'm going to start a new trace, and I always start with a straight pipe. Straight pipe with 2 clicks, and I have an immediate extraction of my straight segments, also a heat map to give confidence about the extraction. I have the possibility to change the diameter if I want. And this is always the first step to create a new pipe trace. I click enter, and then I need to decide what I want to do next. Most of the cases, this is the creation of another straight pipe and an elbow. So again, I can force an angle. Up to me, I mean, if I want to also force some typical values for the elbow, so I will keep it like this for this demo. And I'm doing again 2 clicks on the next segment. So this is, I mean, 2 clicks. I mean, it's a very good way to control and to have a confident extraction from the first from the first extraction step, and to reduce rework as well. And so then I click enter again. and I can move forward and extract very quickly my pipe trace. Also, I mean, please note that automatically we connected, I mean, the capacity to edit an elbow, and the bend radius of it, and I can click enter and then move forward to do the next step of my extraction. So please note that the diameter is, I mean, saved from one straight part to the next one until I create a reducer that has also supported in this first version of Cyclone 3DR. So consider that this is really the beginning of the planned journey for, I mean, the Cyclone 3DR ecosystem. And I mean, for sure, in our roadmap and in the next releases, we will have, I mean, we will deliver more assets, more algorithm to bring also more automation. And okay, if I'm satisfied. So also, I mean, nice tips that we introduced to hide or to change the transparency of the point cloud. I mean, even when I'm not editing or creating a trace, I have the possibility to do some adjustments, and I can create a new trace. So I will do this one. So I click enter, always first step, creation of a straight pipe, and then I click enter and to be in the next mode, so elbow plus straight pipe. It's pretty efficient and fast to do my extraction. So I also would like to show you how to create a reducer. Also, I mean, something that I can show you. So it's possible to quit this workflow. So I have my scan2pipe project with my 2 pipes, and I can decide, for example, to change the representation of my point cloud if I have a classification, intensity, and I can open again. So it might be a tip. And for example, the smooth representation, I think, might be, I mean, a good one, very appropriate for a piping environment. So I have another pipe here. So let's create an elbow. Okay. And here, I will go until here, and you can see that now I have a reducer. And not only I have a reducer that I can create, but also, I mean, I don't have lots of points. So it's a challenging situation for my extraction algorithm. But let's give it a try, and I will use the reducer plus straight pipe. So this is the same mechanism. I need to click 2 points on my next. In this, it was a challenging area. So let's do this again. So this is the same mechanism. I have to click 2 points on a straight part to get the next element of my trace. And instead of an elbow, I'm creating, I mean, a reducer. Yeah. And then it's up to me if I want to continue with an elbow, or I can change the creation mode. Also, I mean, you can see that I can adjust manually the diameter. And also, I mean, I have the possibility to hide or display my trace, or to change the color, for example. Yeah. Okay. So when I'm done with my pipe project, I'm clicking next. So this is a 2-step workflow. And now you can see the different possibilities to export your piping model, so to IFC. So this is a big, enhancement for, the exporting capacity from Cyclone 3DR. So IFC for piping models, also meshes. I mean, it's for us, it was pretty obvious to connect meshes. Also for meshes, we connected the Send-to capacity. So for example, here I'm showing BricsCAD, so it works with AutoCAD and BricsCAD. So those objects are meshes and are automatically exported from 3DR to BricsCAD. I can also export to regular file formats. CAD and center axis, and I will show you, in Cyclone 3DR. So just to give you an idea, I will show you the entirety. I mean, all the projects that I extracted. So it was in this area. So I did previously. And you can see that on other cylinder components like tanks, I mean, the extraction also works properly. And if I so I can decide to also start again this project if I want. You can see all I have, I mean, from this project, and I can also, I mean, do some edition, change the thickness, and export to IFC my piping model. So I'm going to show you what I did. So in a beam viewer, this is the exact same project that I imported in Beam Vision just for visualization. And if I focus on what I demonstrated, so my reducer, information like thickness and diameters are saved in this IFC. So I mean, IFC would be the most intelligent format for exchanging. So I mean, this is the one that we recommend, but center axis, CAD models work as well. And I mean, also want to display in Navisworks the same model. So showing that the IFC interoperability is successful for this workflow and scan to pipe. And also, I mean, showing various information from the components that I extracted from 3DR. And just to conclude on scan to pipe, so really I encourage you to watch the YouTube channel and to find all the, I mean, to see more information, connection between two objects. And let me show you briefly. So this is center lines that you can export to IGS to STEP. And I mean, also CAD surfaces that you can also export to IGS and STEP format as well. So that was it for scan to pipe. So as usual, I mean, the purpose of a Cyclone 3D workflow is to deliver a result. And here, this is a model. First step of the workflow, make sure that you have prepared your data with a limit box, with a good representation. But I mean, you can still go back and do your own and favorite representation settings. It's possible also to reduce the point cloud for better performance extraction. And then this new scan to pipe to extract and export a piping model. And so this is an example of a connection with an elbow between two different pipes as an example. And the purpose is to deliver a 3D model. And I mean, you can see also you can go further, benefit from Cyclone 3DR texturing capacity to texture a mesh model and to export to OBJ, FBX, GLP, for example. So let's jump into the second use case. And so I will demonstrate visual notes that can be used for, I mean, for example, a renovation project. So let me open my project. Okay, so here, so visual notes, as Joey explained. I mean, this is a very simple feature to use, and the purpose is to create, I mean, a report very easily based on visual analysis. So this feature does not rely on algorithm. Does not. I mean, it's purely, I mean, the user intelligence to create notes and to create screenshots to do measurements. So maybe starting with a tip. So here I have a point cloud and my design model. For example, what you can do, so you can just display the DB model, smaller area, and I will create a limit box. So automatically, my limit box is created on my visible objects, and then I can display my point cloud that is automatically clipped in this area. So let's hide this limit box. And a tip to, to highlight the difference between the what you want to analyze. But please note that this is not only for design beam model or point cloud. A visual node can work for any kind of 3D data. You don't need to have a selection, so it can work on any string point cloud or a mesh. And here, but I would like to focus to do a comparison between the reality and the design. And choosing intensity and this kind of representation can be very useful to highlight the differences. So in the analysis menu, now I have visual nodes. Same experience as inspection nodes, but I don't need to do deviation analysis first. And for example, for this for this use case, here I have a column. So there is a difference between the reality. So I have a rectangular column, and my design, this is a profile. Here, for example, I have a difference for this pipe. I have a cable tray also that is different. So to highlight and to do various measurements, so for multiple applications, visual node is really appropriate. And also, those are situations where using an algorithm is not appropriate. So this is, I just need to create a node. So same experience as inspection nodes. So I need to click on an area, and I will have a small ID of my issue. And if you use an IFC model, it will be also BCF compatible. So if you want to share your issues in a beam management environment, it will be compatible. So here I can add a description. Change the type of column, for example, and I can assign this issue to someone. It will be compatible with a BCF environment. I can define a priority. Okay, and what is really cool with this new feature, this is this add measure capacity. So when I click on add measure, automatically the scene is split in 3 parts. And there is this smart limit box that I really like. And just to focus on the area of interest, automatically I have for me, it's very convenient to understand and to visualize, to make measurements. I can edit this limit box if I want. And I think now I want to focus on the top view. And so, for example, here, I want to make a measurement between of the existing the real column, and this is an information that I can put in a report. Okay, and so I can create, if I want, multiple screenshots. So why not the 3D view and the top view showing the real thickness or width of this column. Okay, so I'm good for this first node, and let's create another one. So here for this cable tray, so there is a difference between the reality and the design model. If I want if the MEP engineer wanted to put many cables, the reality won't allow this. So that's also an interesting use case. And again, I can add measures. And I really like this quick limit box. I just need to do one click. I can validate. And here again, if I want to measure the reality, I'm creating here a screenshot to fill my report. Okay, and maybe to conclude, and with I will do a final note to highlight a new small measurement tool as well. So for the last note, I would like to calculate the clearance between this beam and the floor. So the title automatically is the name of the object, clearance control. It's possible to edit the info again. and I will add a measure. Here, I don't need to have my smart limit box, so I can work with that. And now we are introducing this new plane-to-plane distance, not only available for, available not only for visual notes, but for all the, in the 3D environment in general. So keeping control, I can force the direction along an axis, so vertical. And here, so my first click was not very accurate on the floor. And now I can measure from the floor to the bottom part. So it's very convenient. And if I'm done, I can click OK, and I will create another screenshot. OK. So please note that it's possible to also to quit. So let me to quit the feature. And if I want to change the representation, it's possible to play again. So, I mean, like scan to pipe, but many Cyclone 3D features, there is this flexibility, and I can start a reporting project and go back later to finish my report. And at the end, I need to go to the editor, report editor, and automatically I have, a main view for my reports, which is also new and very cool. We are adding this summarized table of all the notes for inspection note as well. And for example, if you don't work in a BIM environment, so for example, you don't want to create a BCF and you just want to create notes on a mesh and using the coordinates, so you might just want to use an XYZ information, and automatically, there is a collection of pages that are automatically created with all the screenshots and the measurements that you made. So I can show you an example of report. So same use cases and how it looks like with a PDF export. So here I created another note for this pipe difference. And it's very convenient, and it can work. So for plant industry, I see lots of applications with small objects, small assets, but not only plant. So that was for visual notes. So let me summarize what I demonstrated. Maybe not the first part, but I will go back to this BIM model edition. So please note that we also improved the capacity to edit BIM model in Cyclone 3D. And so Visual Notes is a user-friendly tool to create nice reports and to deliver to decision makers. So let's go back to some basics and a scan to model workflow. So for this offshore site, so scan to pipe, and you will see that it will be very quick. So I think this is really what is valuable for scan to pipe. I mean, very limited user actions to get a realistic mesh model. So the scan to mesh is part of the standard edition of Cyclone 3DR, and so automatically it comes into all editions, including the new plant edition of Cyclone 3DR. So that's a pretty large data set that I have. Okay, so I have a pretty large point cloud, and so for scan to mesh, it will be straightforward. So a very quick demonstration. First tip is to use a limit box. So for example, if you stream an LGS-X format, you don't have to convert it in Cyclone 3DR. It's possible to use scan to mesh without conversion. And what I recommend is just to use a limit box, and only the area of interest will be meshed. So I have my point cloud here. So for the purpose of the live demo, I'm limiting to this area. So I'm selecting my point cloud and scan to mesh. So this is this magic one-click button to get a mesh model. So last year, we also improved the user interface to make it easy, and you just have to pick the appropriate scanner. and it means, I would say, low, medium, or advanced meshing settings. So I will keep the BLK361 for this demonstration. And then I will show you the entirety of the mesh. And so here it is. So that was pretty fast for this area. And just to show you that even if I took the complete point cloud, so obviously the computation would have been longer, but it would have been the same interaction, just one click. You can go, I mean, if for a complex data set, it can take maybe 20 minutes, and when you're back, I mean, you get your mesh. So let me show you, I mean, the results. So with a more detailed an RTC 360 setting, scan to mesh, so result. So I checked before, and this is I mean, there are, I believe, 16,000 triangles for this mesh. So 16 million triangles. So that's a quite complex mesh. And I will display also the point cloud just to give you an idea. I mean, to see the difference, and I mean, how realistic we can have this mesh. Also an opportunity for me to show you the compare side-by-side feature. So I just need to select two objects, and automatically my screen is split in two parts, and I have a synchronized view. So this is, I mean, for me, this is also a visual comparison feature, and this is very convenient, I mean, for multiple application. So would work also for an analysis workflow, making a comparison between a design and a point cloud. And here I can navigate, and you can see, so if I focus on this area, so it's not possible to read, I mean, what is on this pipe with the point cloud, and with my realistic mesh model, this is, I mean, much more convenient, I mean, for the 3D experience, and also to share the data to a third-party application, or just to analyze in Cyclone 3DR, and I can do any kind of workflow after this. So scan to flash, the scan to mesh, a very typical Cyclone 3DR workflow that I'm going to summarize. Let me just open the next project. So just a quick summary of this third use case. So preparation, I mean, you just have to create a limit box, and you don't have to convert an LGSX point cloud, for example. Pick your setting and just click preview, and I mean, you get your mesh. So it's very straightforward. I really like this feature, and it also benefits from permanent improvement. We have a very good, I mean, algorithm team that delivers improvement. So the meshing capacity of Cyclone 3DR permanently evolves and delivers better results. And for the final use case, so this is another 3DR typical workflow to do, I mean, comparison between design model and point cloud. So it's part of Plant Edition. And here, so it's a construction industry, but with a steel structure that you can find again for plant application. And so here I will demonstrate the beam alignment feature. So imagine that your design and your point cloud are not aligned together, which I believe is the case in 50% of the situation. So in the coordinate system menu, I'm selecting two objects, and I jump into beam alignment. So this is a feature I probably demonstrated last time, and I think it's a very important one, and easy to use. So I just need to position my two environments in the same view. Okay. And now, so I will move the point cloud onto my design model. So the first click, I need to pick a wall to get a normal direction. Second click needs to be more accurate. because it will be a temporary origin between the two objects. And now I'm going to do the same on the design model. So one click on a wall and one click on a corner. So first click doesn't have to be accurate. Second one, a little bit, but I mean, you can see that the pre-element is immediate, accurate. And then there is a final step. I'm clicking preview, just a couple of very user-friendly parameters for the best fit operation. So best fit, this is part of 3D magic to manipulate the 3D data. And here I'm doing a perfect alignment between the reality and my design model. And here we go. So that was also pretty fast for this data. All right. So just to show you, so now it's important to have, I mean, the full content, in particular walls and surfaces, to do the best fit elements. But for example, and this is what's new also with the BIM project editor, I want to focus only on the steel components. And we added this new layout, which is very convenient. So imagine an IFC that is complex. It's difficult to understand all the components of the project. So with new filters, this new layout, it's very easy to choose and to focus on an area of interest. So I want to remove the slab. I want to remove the walls. And now this is, I mean, the objects I want to analyze. I want to do a deviation analysis with a specific tolerance specifications of those objects. Okay, so I had my steel structure here, and I have my point cloud. I also want to show you so many things to show. The improvement for the construction site classification. So I could do an additional step of cleaning and keep only points that I want. So I will pick my design model, so the steel structure, my point cloud, and so this is in the analysis menu, cloud versus beam. A couple of parameters to adjust. I will remove noisy points with this maximum distance feature. And so it's a pretty, I mean, it's a large floor, so it might take 20 seconds to compute, but still it is very fast. I mean, to get a deviation heat map in a couple of clicks. So this is really the power of Cyclone 3DR. And now I have my heat map. And so I just need to create a report. So for example, here, I want to highlight those areas. And if I'm for a specific contract, I might have a specific tolerance. So, I mean, we have all the tools in Cyclone 3DR to customize, I mean, a color gradient. I can change the unit as I want to have a simplified heat map. Okay, and here, I mean, in this case, this is easy for me to highlight the areas, I mean, where there are issues. And so I can now take deviation measurements. So with, I mean, lots of details if I want, or just the deviation. And let's pick a few beams to show. And this is something that I will put in my report. So, for example, I have this down zen view, and I can update this view. If I want, I can also show more context, displaying also the point cloud. Let me, for example, use the transparency. I mean, very nice feature from last year. And I have the possibility to add some screenshots as well. So in the view menu, I can create a new screenshot. Let's find something else. Okay, why not here? I will create a second screenshot, and those images I can put it in my reports. So I have my compare and inspect folder. I mean, the fastest way to jump into the report editor, this is from this way. And I have a full detailed report that I can also complete with screenshots that I created. And then I can export to PDF, CSV, or even BCF. And just to show you, I mean, if I export a PDF, I mean, the kind of report that is very easy to understand and with the most relevant information for the decision maker. I mean, so many things to demonstrate also with the new progress monitoring feature. So different purpose. The purpose of progress monitoring is not to do a deviation analysis, but a progress status analysis of a project. And part of the great improvement, I mean, we are proposing now an automatic reporting capacity with those screenshots, those colors for each component. It can be, I mean, every report. You can see more than 700 pages. I mean, because there are a couple of pages for each component. But for advanced workflow, sometimes it's a must-have to have details for all the components. So that was it for the final scan to verify application. So relevant for construction sites, but not only for as-built in general. So beam alignment, very easy feature to use with a couple of clicks of each object, and the best fit magic will take care of the rest. And so deviation analysis, now part of the plant edition for CAD and BIM models. And again, the purpose of Cyclone 3DR is to deliver something at the end. And here, this is an as-built verification report. So that was it for this final use case. So I will hand over back to you, Joey, and to wrap up and briefly summarize the new features and what's next.
Thank you, Yannick. So yeah, that's a little bit of a wrap up or a summary of what we've covered. The new Cyclone 3DR 2024 is dedicated to all the industries. Obviously, we're introducing the new plant module including the tank features from the previous versions, the CAD and BIM analysis tools, auto classification, scan to pipe, and all the other features Yannick showed you. For the AEC industry, BIM-friendly reports, the upgraded BIM progress monitoring, new visual notes, which is really for all of the modules, all the industries, and the scan to plan update, which is a quicker tool for generating just that plan views of the building. For the survey module, new profile extraction and analysis experience for tunnels and roadways and such, and now support of trajectories from the TRK mobile mapping systems and the BLK sensors, both mobile sensors. And then a boosted reality capture experience for everyone. The new 3D interface is enhanced for more a better user experience with visual navigation, the synchronization of the multiple scenes, stereo rendering support, and then the new point cloud metadata features. And lastly, even additional features, the new auto classification models for road application, and the people filtering modules from the BLK series. The ability to edit masks of images, that's to remove people, signage, license plates, or whatever. And the new capture view capacities, which Yannick just showed you, for saving views that are great for including into your report. And to keep or to stay connected with Leica and the capabilities and enhancements of this new product, this webinar will be available for replay. There is the official YouTube website for Cyclone 3DR, which I encourage everyone to go to, because most Yannick's videos, a lot of the ones he showed here, are already done and saved and saved to that YouTube, up to that YouTube channel, right? There's online help for 3DR. So when you install 3DR, you can actually tell it to just install the help to desktop, right? So that inside the app you have app, or even outside of the application, you've got the full help available, which has plenty of screenshots and images, right? I'm not going to say if you're in a vacuum, you could figure it out, but if you're in a vacuum, you can figure it out with the help, because it's very, very nice. But that's the last thing you want to do. Check out the webpage, the YouTube channel, because plenty of good content there. And then our new e-learning services, right? So there will be some e-learning content specifically for the new features and for Plant coming soon to our e-learning website. So once again, for Yannick and for me and for all of the development team on this new product, we thank you for attending. We appreciate your time. Once again, please, if you haven't already, add any questions, comments, concerns to the QA section of the presentation. And we look forward to hearing from you, hopefully seeing some of you here in the near future.
Thank you, Joey, and thank you everyone for your attention.
Appreciate that. Yeah, thank you guys. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.